Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Got something today for you that I think that is going to be pretty awesome. So, what might that be in this box right here that just showed up the other day that I've been waiting to unbox just for you guys? Well, that would be the Icom IC7300, not just a normal 7300. The MK2. Something I want to mention before we kind of get this review kicked off is the Icom IC7300 is arguably, I wouldn't say arguably, but it's the best-selling ham radio of all time. Some could argue that, but based upon what we know, it is the best-selling ham radio HF transceiver, keyword HF transceiver, of all time with over 100,000 in sales. And the rig's been out about 10 or 11 years now, I want to say. I'll see if I can put the date in the comments here. But I got one within, I think, the first 6 months of it coming out because I was just impressed. I was like, wow, this little package right here has a band scope and it has all these features, 100 watts, an auto tuner, and could do digital mode super easy. So I was pretty blown away at the time. I was like, this is like the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? Well, for me anyways, it was quite a great experience that I always had with the 7300. And over the years, I had bought and sold my 7300 along the way a couple times, but I typically always had one in the shack. And typically when I sold it, it was just to a friend who needed an HF rig. And I was like, oh, well, I'll just wait till the next sale comes around and I'll just get a new one that's under warranty again. And I'm only losing $50 or $100 or something, not a huge deal, but, or I was just not into ham radio at the time or whatever the case may be. But now that the 7300 Mark II is here, I think I'm a very good candidate to give you an opinion on whether or not I think this is a worthy upgrade for you to maybe upgrade your 7300 to the MK2, or if you're just starting out in ham radio and you're looking at maybe getting the older 7300 or getting the newer Mark II version. And hopefully I can maybe discern some differences and stuff like that that'll help you make up your mind. And then we do have some comparison trials coming as well. So we will be testing this radio out versus another one. But anyways, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get the camera repositioned around. And we're going to unbox this together. And we're going to just take a look at it and kind of just go through it a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and crack this box open here, okay? And let's see what's going on with it. All right. So, crack the box. And mind you, this is a nicer, I think, box. It's more square than the lengthwise 7300 box, so that's kind of cool. All right, we got some manuals and a limited warranty registration. I will be registering this one because I don't ever plan on selling this one at all whatsoever. And looks like I've got some decently padded cardboard here. All right. And looks like we got our power cable. That looks like pure copper in the cable there. So it's pure copper, it looks like. So, all right. Not copper-clad aluminum like you've been seeing with some other radio rigs. All right. We got the hand mic here, which is, you can see that. That's just your typical Icom HM219 hand mic. So, not a big deal there. Got your typical Icom, looks like just some fuses and some adapters and stuff like that. So not a huge deal there. Nice packaging though. And I'm guessing we're just gonna have the rig under here somewhere. Yep, looks like that's it. That's all that's left is the rig. So let's go ahead and pull this sucker out. All right, and that's the only thing left in the box. Nothing else. All right, put the box aside. After I just dropped something. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this sucker unboxed. All right. First things first. Front panel. It looks the exact same as the 7300 to me. The only thing you can really tell is it has the MK2 right there. But other than that, I can't really tell. So, something to know right off the bat, looks like we got the VFO friction there. But all the other options look pretty much the same to me. You got your multi, you got your twin PBT for your passband tuning, your AF RF squelch, and then you got your phones, microphone, your tuner, your Vox break-in switch, transmit power, speech. Looks like it all looks like the same. Everything's the same as just a normal 7300. So, and this to me looks like the exact same casing as a 7300 too, and it's still pretty light. Looks like you got some decent mounting points on the side for a handle or something else. Lately, a lot of people have been taking, you know, rigs out into the field and stuff like that, and they've been wanting like the Arma lock accessories and other 3D printed accessories. You get off Etsy for like the cage to make it a little bit more robust. So just to note, it does have, it looks like 4 mounting points there and 2 here for like a grab handle. So I haven't seen anything come out from Icom yet that uses these right here. Maybe that could be for a mobile bracket or something like that. But the cool thing is it gives us the ability to design our own accessories and 3D print them and everything like that. So you do get the kickstand here on the bottom like before. So that all looks the same. And the buttons feel a little bit tighter than a 7300 Mark 1. Yeah, that definitely feels a lot tighter. Yeah, that definitely feels tighter. Passband tuning feels good. That feels good. The VFO, perfect. And you got the friction lock. Let's lock it down like a notch. Oh yeah, just gives it a nice little bit of friction. I really like that. Ooh, that's too much friction. But I usually leave it off because I spin pretty fast. But multi-knob, nice and good. Doesn't feel like that maybe changed a whole lot, but buttons are all soft touch still. All right, let's get back to the meat and potatoes of this rig. So the big things that everybody was talking about that this upgraded now, Icom claims the specs are better. I'll get into that to the end because I wrote up a little blurb about that I wanted to address with you guys because I think it's important to talk about. But let's get through the rest of the rig first. So if we go to the back of the rig, something worth noting is that there are a few new additions on the back of here. And the biggest one being now you finally get, that everybody's talking about, I should say, is you get the HDMI port, which everybody's been asking for. You get a USB-C port, which is finally nice to get away from the USB-B port, I believe. It was the printer style one. I believe that's USB-B. You still get the same accessory port that was always there. And you got your remote and you got your external speaker. You got your keyer for your CW paddles. You got your ALC and your send. You got your tuner. But moving along the top here, you now have an RX antenna in and out. So for those of you who like to play with, you know, SDR stuff and pan adapters and all that kind of jazz, it gives you the option to kind of play with that a little bit more. And you can also do your own receive antenna too, which that's starting to become really popular, is just having a receive antenna and then having a transmit antenna. And you may be wondering, like, why would you do that? Well, perfect example is kind of what I'm going through at home right now. I have a serial loop antenna, which is really good, but the bandwidth on it is super narrow. So jumping across the band or seeing a whole band picture at once just doesn't happen. So, and that could be the case for other people out there too, where they have, you know, antennas that aren't got a whole lot of bandwidth, or let's say they just want a dedicated receive antenna for whatever reason possible. But the dedicated receive antenna has become increasingly popular over the last couple of years. And in addition to that, we now have the LAN Ethernet port as well. And, you know, that way you can use the RSBA1 software to control the rig. And I'm pretty sure that there's some other pieces of software out there you could use as well to control the rig remotely, or, you know, across the room and at the computer. So you'd probably be able to effectively leave this, you know, somewhere else in your house or in your, maybe an outdoor shack or remotely, and you could operate this rig remotely. The only thing I wouldn't be too sure about is maybe some remote power. So I'd have to look into that. But nice little compact rig, just one antenna port still, your power there, your ground lug here, and a fan. And I mean, other than that, it's pretty much the same as a normal 7300 Mark 1. So those features, you know, are kind of the big ticket items. So you kind of have to ask yourself, do I want the LAN port? Do I want the HDMI port? Do I want the USB-C port? And do I want the receive ports? That alone might be worth it for you to upgrade your 7300 to the Mark II. Now, as of this video, today is Hamcation week. It's Saturday on Hamcation weekend, and today their HRL is running a special. I checked the website earlier today. With the rebate, you can get a 7300 Mark 1 for I think it was $888 is what it was. So you can get that rig, and I think that was after the $100 Icom rebate for, you know, a little bit more than $800. Or you can find these used all day long right now for about $650 to $700 is what I'm seeing the Mark 1s go for used. So $700 for a 7300 Mark 1 is actually an incredible steal if that's the route you wanted to go. And something to think about, Yaesu's closest rig to that price range used is going to be the 891, but the 891 is going to be lacking a lot of features compared to this for just a little bit more money, or even just if you buy a 7300 Mark 1. The 7300 Mark 1 is going to have better features than the Yaesu FT891 will. So that's something to think about, especially with used prices right now. If your budget was $700, I tell you to buy a 7300 all day long and not even look back. So I haven't heard a lot of complaints about anybody ever having to send these in for maintenance or warranty work or anything like that. So that's something to also consider, is this radio has a really great track record on the MK1 version. So anyway, guys, I'm going to show you the back panel one more time. Take a look at that. And I'm going to go ahead and just get it plugged in, maybe throw a couple of my settings on there, and we're going to just try it out and see what we think of it. And I'm also going to try and operate this with, I believe it's IFView or IFT8. I can't remember the app name, but you can use an iPad to run FT8. So I did that on my last video that I showed you guys with the Optima. So anyways, something to think about too is this radio packs an antenna tuner, packs 100 watts, packs the screen and all that jazz. No Bluetooth option, no GPS option, no APRS option. I think you could do, but that's a kind of a different, not really apples to apples, because that's got a VHF and UHF element too. But something to think about if you're just operating HF is the Mark II is still cheaper than buying an Optima. So, and as of right now, I'd have to check the DX10 prices, but this might be the same price as the DX10 as well. So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get this hooked up. Just do a quick run with it. And obviously I'm going to need some more time with it, but I just wanted to get it unboxed, get it in front of you guys' face. And, you know, if you guys got questions or video ideas of something you want to see with this rig, feel free to reach out, throw it in the comments. And without further ado, let's get it hooked up. We got the radio all hooked up, and it's just going to antenna outside. It's just an MPass 2.0. I'm going to go ahead and fire this thing up for the first time, and let's see what happens. And I'm just going to kind of walk through it and give you my initial thoughts. And I got the POTA app over here on my iPad. We're going to see if we can maybe hunt a little bit of POTA and just kind of see what's out there. Right off the bat, start you off on 14-100. We're going to go ahead and peel the plastic off. So, all right, let's see here. So I'm going to go and start in the menu system real quick just to see if I notice anything different. Looks like all your normal stuff that you see on a regular 7300. I can't remember if it had the FT8 preset in the last one or not. I'm pretty sure it did, but that's also there. The buttons across the bottom with function. Looks like we got some a new button or two. IP Plus, I don't remember seeing that before. RX antenna and APF. Looks like APF will come on one of the bands wherever you're working on. So that looks like the function's a little bit different. If we hit this button, oh, look at that waterfall. That is a nice looking waterfall. That looks pretty good. I like it. And down here you got the same old stuff that you've had before. Pretty much nothing's changed on that from what I can tell. If we just go like span, let's just kick it out there a little bit. Yeah, looks like I got a nice little waterfall going already, so let's kick this down to like some FT8 station here. So I got a nice little waterfall going right there. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. But we're not here for FT8, are we? So let me go ahead and take a look at what else we got here. Like I was saying earlier, all the buttons look the same. When I read the manual, I noticed that we have a few more options in here. I don't remember seeing a CW key set or tone control in here before. Network definitely wasn't here before. Looks like we got some more. No, it's about the same display options, it looks like, except for maybe the external display, which you can turn that on by default. It's on by default. You got resolution, you got some audio output. Okay, cool. So that means you can even audio output your signal over HDMI, which that'll probably be a game changer for some people that do some live streams and stuff like that. So opening message, my call, change that later, power on check. I noticed the power button is a different color too. I believe it was red or green before, if I remember right. Time set, just some information, nothing crazy there. So that all looks pretty much the same on the outside, except for maybe a couple more settings it looks like we have. All that pretty much looks the same to me. Yep. Looks like maybe some more RTTY options though. I don't remember seeing those last, because that's probably because there's something on here I want to show you guys. That, mind you, this is the first time I'm starting this up, so I don't remember seeing those. I remember the mod input was there. So it looks like they made some changes to accommodate for the Ridian CW decode. So if I drop us down to... There we go. We got some CW. Well, I was hearing some CW. Oh, okay. So we're over here a little bit for some CW. Let me see if I can tune him in. So we might have lost him. There we go. Okay. Here decoder. Let's see what happens. Now, there is some ways to adjust this for threshold, filter, speed, and stuff like that. I do know from what I read that you kind of need to play with this a little bit in order to get the settings correctly, so it'll decode CW correctly. I'm going to have to read some more about that, but the option is here to do a CW decode. And then we have the option now to actually key up to send CW. So I'm not going to jump on this guy's station, but you can still read it while you're keying. So that's kind of interesting. I'm going to have to play with this some more. I'm not a CW guy myself, but I'm trying to get there to where I have some time where I can learn it a little bit. So this will be part of that, hopefully helping me learn a little bit more. So, go back to menu. Yeah, we'll definitely have to play with this some more. But this is a cool feature. I really like this. I don't even have this on my 7760. So I better get a firmware update with some CWD code there, Icom. So I'm going to move up a little, or down a little bit. And I'm going to try sending some CW. So let's go ahead and hit the tune button. Looks like we got a good tune. Okay. And we can actually check that tune by just going SWR. Looks like we got a flat SWR curve. Great. Let's just send CQ test. Okay, so the Vox button has to be on. Vox break-in has to be on, but wow, that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot. That's pretty cool. So I'll have to play with this some more, but just to give you an idea, that's kind of where it's at. And that signal's not coming in very good, so I don't expect that to... I don't expect that one to... I'm going to have to do some quick menu settings here where I can add this keyer and stuff like that. That'll be a big help. But yeah, that's one of the cool features I wanted to show you guys. And there's RTTY decode and send as well. And I imagine, if I remember right, you can customize all the... I know you can customize all those messages. So the only thing that would have been maybe a little bit cooler is if we had a USB port we could plug in and maybe use a little keyboard or something. But this is a pretty big win. If you're just going to make some CW contacts and you don't know CW, this might be the way to do it. And but I'm gonna have to play with this some more, so we'll have to see what else we can do, because I've never made a CW contact. So anyways, let's get off of this and let's go see if we can maybe hunt some POTA up. And while we're doing that, get our meters up. And I'm gonna bring up the POTA app. Let's see what we got here. It looks like we got somebody on 14,295 in Washington. So, oh wow, hold up.
NGOAJQX of Missouri, listening for a call. 10-0JQX from N6GN.
Wow, that's with the noise reducer on, guys. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, N6GN, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, good morning. My name is Al, American London Alpha Lima. I'm in Salem, Missouri, in the Ozarks, South Central Missouri. Good morning to you.
Oh, good morning, Al.
So that's noise blanker, noise reducer.
I'm in Fort Collins in northern Colorado. Saw you were in Salem, and we usually get on, a group of us get on here in about 20 minutes, somewhere around this frequency.
Okay, so quick note. The noise blanker works great. The noise reducer,
Anyway, you're a nice signal here in Fort Collins.
That works pretty good as well.
This is N6GM.
And you can actually adjust these.
Okay, yeah, very good. I grew up in Houston, Missouri, so I know that area real well. Who's the ham you talked to from over there?
Well, he's an older.
Wow, that cleaned up pretty. That cleaned up pretty
ago.
nice.
He's
So.
RFP, and he's not right in downtown.
No
Houston.
quarrels about the filtering on
I'll have
this.
to look him up to see exactly where, but he'll be on here in a little while. So I don't know if you would hear him direct or not. He's far enough away that may not be a lot of signal that you could work him directly on 20.
Yeah, that preamp sounds good too, guys. So no quarrels about the filtering so far, or the preamp. We could even attenuate a little bit, get rid of those.
Yeah, very good. You are 5 and 8 here, Clint.
Yeah, that attenuates down pretty good too.
At my location, and yeah, they've got some new people.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. I like that. That the filtering sounds great. So let's go back, and I just had to catch those guys to just do a quick test to make sure that that was gonna, you know, I had to stop it while we could because the bands last night were not good on my other radio that's in that box over there. So let's see what we got on the POTA app. It looks like we got some 14.315 for let's see what we can hear on the POTA here. And then we got yeah, we got some guys on, you know, 20 meters. So 257.
Thanks very much. Appreciate that. Romeo Hotel, you are that. Alpha Bravo 3 Charlie, that was easy. You're 5'9", Massachusetts. Thank you, 5'9" in North Carolina. Hey, you can put 20 over on that last one. You're killing it. 5'9" North Carolina. You have yourself a great weekend in 7-3. Thank you so much.
Wow, this POTA station's popping this morning. All right, so that's great, guys. I like that. The filtering is good. And then it looks like we got somebody on 14.280 right now, POTA. And if you're curious how I'm looking this up, it's just the POTA.app on my iPad here. And we can just kind of scroll through and see all the activations that are kind of going on right now. And we could even use the iPad to do some logging if we wanted to. But let's see who else is on 20 meters right now. Let me actually bounce up a little bit. Looks like nobody's using the frequency. Let me tune up. So let's see if we can span this out a little bit and see some better signals.
This is Whiskey 1. This is Whiskey 1, Victor Sierra calling CQ POTA from US 7610, Old Hickory Wildlife Management Area.
November 7, Romeo Alpha Juliet.
November 7, go again, please.
Yeah, November 7, Romeo Alpha Juliet, Nevada. You are coming in about a 5757.
I'm November 7. I'm getting a November 7, but I'm losing you in the weeds after that.
November 7, Romeo Alpha Juliet.
I'm sorry, November 7. I cannot get you out of there. I'll try to get you in a little while. I do apologize. Whiskey 1, Victor Sierra, CR. CQ POTA.
I want to show you guys something real quick while we're trying to find something here. So on the POTA app, like I'm obviously on 20 meters, right? You can actually hit the band and just hit that, and we can see who's here. And then we can even go mode. Let's go single sideband. So now we got single sideband, and we got 20 meters, and now we can see who's all operating on. And it looks like it's a pretty busy morning right now. So this video is getting a little bit too longer than I'd like. It's going to be close to like 30 minutes now, so I don't want to do that to you guys. So first impressions after just going through operating the rig. Obviously, that one station couldn't hear me that I tried to call out to, but not a big deal. You know, I don't have the best antenna set up outside right now, so something to think about for maybe me to bring a little bit something better up. But as of right now, I like the rig a lot. I think the filter's a little bit better than the 7300. The audio quality, when I get a signal, I think the audio quality in the speaker's a lot better than what it was. So that's something to think about. But overall, I mean, this thing, you know, I like it. It's definitely an improvement over a 7300 Mark 1. So hopefully I've demonstrated that, guys, in this short video. Maybe we'll take this out a little bit later today and do our own POTA. But so far, pretty good. Can't complain. Yeah, it's just a good rig. So anyways, guys, I obviously got to do some more testing with this to maybe further my knowledge about it, read some more manuals and stuff like that. But this is my hands-on first impression video, pulling it out of the box, operating it, you know, if I pulled it out of the box. So hopefully that's valuable to you guys. If it is, maybe drop me a like, maybe drop me a subscribe, leave me a comment or something like that. And hope to see you guys out there on the airwaves. 73s.